Alright, hello everyone. So today we're going to be doing the full in-depth review on the Bissell Powerforce Bagged. So this is kind of a special machine as this was the last consumer grade Powerforce that you can buy for $50 odd. So we'll jump into the review. Alright, so here it is. This is the Bissell Powerforce Bagged. This is model 1398. So this is the last consumer grade Powerforce that you could have bought at on the market, and they basically still sell this under the Bissell Big Green commercial lineup, which is basically just a commercial version of this with a longer, more durable cord, slightly better build quality, and the Big Green name slapped onto it. And that is about 3 times the price that this would have sold for. And I believe that one also has a 10 amp motor compared to this has the 8 amp motor. So basically, this is basically the cheapest, the most cheapened Powerforce that was out on the market. Because this design originated in, I believe, 2002, if I'm not mistaken. And that machine was the 3522-1, and they made a -5 and a -6, and this is actually a -6 that I have, and they're all basically the same thing. And then I believe in 2007, which was the year that they dropped a few features, they went from 3522 to 3525, I believe. And that machine, again, some of the features were removed, like the headlight, so you no longer had a headlight. You still had the 12 amp motor, but you lose the bag check light indicator. And then I believe in 2009 was when they switched from 3525 to the 71Y7, which that machine came in multiple different colors, but they went from that 12 amp motor to the 10 amp motor. And that machine ran for a few more years, and then this came out, and of course they went from a 10 amp motor to an 8 amp motor, and they just kept getting cheaper as far as build quality and everything goes. So if you want to buy this, hopefully this review will cover if you want to get this. I highly suggest finding one of these over this, but if you for some reason can't find that and you find this, then hopefully this review will help you make that decision if this is worth it. Now, again, like I said, you can get these still brand new. It's basically a 71Y7 in a commercial name, and that machine is actually green with a yellow cord. So anyways, onto the review. So as you see right here, it clearly says uses style 7 filters and belts, and you can actually upgrade the filter, which I'll talk about here later. Now this does have a 5-position height adjustment. I do like this blue knob. You see you have 5 positions, 5 settings. I always keep it on the middle. This carpet. You have a nice bumper in the front. I believe the bagless versions had a plastic bumper, so that is a nice add-on. So, right up here you see there's a sticker that says Premium Filtration Helps Reduce Allergens. Got your Powerforce Bissell logo right there. And then right here is where you put your hand to open the bag door. Pull the bag door right out. And there's your bag. So I'm actually running a Clean Fairy HEPA bag in this. And basically, a lot of people use the paper bag. So here's a quick difference between a paper and a HEPA bag. So I have right here just a basic Arm & Hammer Bissell Style 7 bag, very basic, and right here I have a Clean Fairy HEPA bag, and I'm basically just going to explain why you want to use these instead of these. So, first reason is the value. You basically can get these for each bag is basically $1 because you can get 20 of these for $20. Another reason that these are better is this is actually a HEPA material versus the paper. So this is going to help capture a lot more dust in the bag instead of leaking it out all over the bag door and everything. It's going to make your motor last longer. It's also going to make your post motor or exhaust filter last longer. So it's going to put out cleaner air. And this bag is also just in general going to last longer than the paper, because as this bag fills up, it's not going to lose as much suction as you would with a paper bag. And you can see the seal on this is a little bit nicer too. So I will put a link in the description where you can get these bags, the belts, and filters. Also below the bag there is a filter right there. Now if you're using HEPA bags and you don't overfill them to where you pull the bag out and dirt's spilling out, you shouldn't really have to worry about that filter. It's really only there in case you spill dirt out or something. But as long as you're using these HEPA bags and you change the bags when they need to be changed, you shouldn't have to worry about that filter. Usually just how clean all this stays when you use HEPA bags. So, yeah. Speaking of filters, you do have a post motor filter. It's right there. It's just a very basic filter. Now you can upgrade these to HEPA, however I don't really see a point in doing that because these are not sealed systems. They do filter well if you use HEPA bags, but as you can see there's actually no seal on this bag door or right here, so it's just going to be plastic on plastic. So honestly, I don't think it's worth it, but if you really wanted to, you could do that. And obviously you can wash these filters. Now right here would have been a bag check light indicator that they removed. As you can see, that's what it would look like. And they just completely removed it. On the side here, there was your filter. You also had a power switch right here. Now, one reason why I like these bagged units more than the bagless is because instead of that stupid flip switch, you actually had a proper side-mounted power switch, which is a lot nicer because you can actually tell when the vacuum is turned on or off. I like these rocker switches, actually. Moving on to the back, as you can see, actually, we'll cover the cord first. So it's just a basic 25 foot power cord, nothing special, but you do have a swivelable cord hook, so that is very nice. And right here, you do have your hose. So this is just a very basic stretch hose. Now, one reason to go for this, these older style Bissells compared to the 1739, which is basically, again, the version that replaced this, that's still on the market, is you get a much shorter extension wand. As you can see, there's an extension wand built in the hose on this one, but on those machines, you had an extension probably about that big. So as you can see, you get a lot more reach already with this. You also have a nice handle right here. I also like that it does swivel right here. It's nice. And right here. Now, it is a stretch hose, however, it's not really a good quality stretch hose. It doesn't really stretch very much, so I mean, that is, I guess, one advantage over the 3522. However, again, this hose isn't extremely stretchy, so it's not really a major advantage in my opinion. Now, as far as attachments, it's just very basic. You have a combo tool, which is kind of a crappy tool, but it's a job done. I'll talk about that more later. On the side right here, again, another nice thing about these older Powerforce is you actually get an extension wand that's longer than the 1739. Okay, so here's the extension wand that all of the newer, well, most of the newer Bissells come with these days. And as you can see, the extension wand on the older style Powerforce is significantly longer than the newer one. So that, again, as far as reach goes, the older Powerforces were a lot better. And you actually get a nice long crevice tool with this one, which is surprising. So, yeah. Now back to this upholstery tool slash steer tool. So the way this works, you would twist this which I'm going to try to do, to redirect the suction to the dusting brush side or redirect it to the stair tool side. Now this part I don't use because it's just not very effective, but this side's a lot better. And while you can use it for dusting, it's not really the best because it is kind of stiff, and honestly, this could scratch super delicate surfaces. So this is good for your couch, maybe your blinds if they're not too delicate. So yeah, and it stores right here. It's easier to do it with two hands, but there you go. So it does come with a very basic set of attachments. However, if you're not happy with the attachments that Bissell provides, or you want more accessories like say a turbo brush or other tools, this is a standard 1.25" fitting that this hose takes. So you can easily go on Amazon and look up tools there. So of course your hose clip is right here. Now when you assemble one of these, there's just one screw that holds in the handle. The handle would just slide right in, so that's very simple. Right here you have your foot pedal, so you just press it to recline the machine, and in traditional Powerforce or just upright vacuum fashion, you press it again and it gets lower. Now because this is a bagged machine, you can actually get relatively low, all things considered. You can definitely get under a coffee table or something. You also have a nice carrying handle right here. And the machine is actually very lightweight. Like, even my 3522 is lightweight, but because this machine is a lot more cheap and it has a smaller motor, this thing is very lightweight. I would even argue that this is about the same weight as an Auric. So anyways, here's a sticker. You can see it's model 1398. This is an 8-amp model, and it was made on the 32nd day of 2014. So this is pretty much right when they went from the 71Y7 to the 1398. And of course, this is your lower hose right here. A lot of times with these Bissell Powerforces, these can frequently get clogged. So if you ever need to unclog this, there's a screw right here that you can unscrew. You can stick a broom handle through here and unclog it right there. And because this stretch hose is somewhat clear, you can actually see if there's a clog. So that pretty much covers all of that. Let's take a look at the bottom. So I guess I'll go ahead and show that off right there. There's the brush roll. This takes a very standard 13-inch roller, or I guess technically it's 12 inches. This again uses Bissell style 7 belts that you can find everywhere. And is that a screw? No. Okay, so this one has 4 screws. So if you need to change the belt or you need to clean out the brush roll, this one only has 4 screws. So that is nice. You also have your high adjustment wheels right here. Got your rear wheels. So pretty much covers that. Alright, so I'm going to set up a quick demo so we can demo this machine. So I'll be right back. Alright, let's see how it did. Okay, so there is rice left in the carpet. I don't know if you can see it bouncing up, but it's there. It did leave a line. I don't know if you can see that. it did leave a line. You can see this where the brush was brushing, and this is the line. This is how you see where the belt is. And it's snow plowed some shredded paper. So for the price, not really surprising, but it did do a decent job. It did get all the oats. It just left the rice and snow plowed. Alright, we are back from the demo, and this machine did decent. So, its deep cleaning ability is just meh. It could be much better. Now, its older brother, which is right here, 3522-6, is obviously much better. Now, basically, the question is, do I recommend it? The answer is yes, but it is a very cheap budget machine and it has very cheap budget features, meaning that its cleaning performance is not the best, so again, you get what you pay for. I wouldn't pick this up for more than $20 personally. If you find it more than that, I would just pass on it. But if it's, in great shape, it's clean, and it has the accessories, then sure. Now, I highly just suggest going for this one. You get the headlight, you get the bigger motor, you get more suction on this one, and you get more agitation on this one. So, cleans better, has better build quality, and overall, I think it is a better machine. Not saying that if you find one of these, you shouldn't pick it up. They are decent machines, but this is just better. So, basically, its limitations on both of these. They don't do bare floors. However, you can go on Bissell's website and just order a few more of those extension wands that I was talking about earlier and buy a bare floor tool. Since this is just a basic 1.25" fitting, you can easily just get a bare floor tool and do your bare floors like that. Or if you want to get a separate machine, I recommend the Eureka Mighty Mite, which I will also link in the description if you are trying to look for a vacuum that can do bare floors. The Eureka Mighty Mite or the Bissell Zing, those are both excellent options. So, if you have any questions, leave them down in the comments below. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Thanks for watching, and stay tuned for more videos.